Did you know that there was a time when babies could speak at birth? It was in a different word from ours. Let me tell you a story. Many centuries ago, there was a world in existence where there were no countries, there were no states, and there were no capitals. All that existed was a kingdom, its king, and his subjects. In that world, a baby born in a day could tell what was tall from what was short, could identify a woman from a man, and could definitely tell what was fine from what was ugly. In that kingdom, only one king ruled over everybody. His name was King Alfred. He was a kind and generous king, and he was loved by all. King Alfred was also permitted to marry as many wives as he wanted, and he did. He showed care, kindness, and affection to all of his wives and subjects. However, Queen Sally, his third wife, was his favorite. He was very loud about his love for her, and even though he loved all of his wives and cared for them, it was very obvious that his love for Queen Sally stood out, and she became the envy of all of the other queens. It was almost as though when she was present, the king had no eyes for the rest of his wives. One day, the king was going hunting. He called Queen Sally and told her he'll be back at noon. He also promised to bring her a large portion of bushmeat. She was really excited and she waited all noon for his arrival. But the king didn't come back. She waited many hours more, but he was still nowhere to be found. She got really hungry and decided to make something from the little things she had in her kitchen. While she was cooking, she realized she didn't have salt. She thought to sneak into one of the queen's kitchen and take some salt. The closest queen's kitchen to hers was that of the fourth wife. She snuck into the kitchen and was about to take some salt when she perceived a very pleasing aroma. She looked towards the fireplace and she saw a large portion of bushmeat well roasted. She was so tempted to take a bite, and she did. After the first bite, she was tempted to take more. One bite after the other, Queen Sally eventually finished the entire bushmeat. The queen's baby, who was taking a nap by the kitchen side, had woken up and experienced all that happened. When Queen Sally realized she had finished the bushmeat, she took the salt and ran back into her kitchen. The fourth queen later came out and realized her meat was nowhere to be found. Remember, I told you babies could speak. The queen asked her baby what happened, and the baby narrated everything that she witnessed. The fourth wife got so mad, and she gathered all the other wives and told them what had happened. They all ran into Queen Sally's room and dragged her out. They beat her until she died. Later that night, the king returned. He was so sorry for coming back late, and the first place he went to was Queen Sally's room. He wanted to apologize and give his reasons for coming back that late, but he couldn't find her. He searched everywhere. He had already raised an alarm before someone told him what had happened earlier in the day. The king cried. He screamed. He couldn't think of the best thing to do. That very night, he decided to place a curse with a ripple effect that will last generations. He declared that every newborn baby would be unable to speak, that at every birth, newborns will be hurt so much that they would cry immediately they are born. That very moment, every baby in the kingdom couldn't speak. And that is why till today, newborn babies cry at birth and do not speak until they are 2, 3, or 4 years of age. This is a story of why babies cannot speak today.